Hopefully you guys can hear me. I've been listening to the older videos, like the videos I uploaded last week and a week before. I'm going to try to speak louder because I know that you guys can barely hear me in these videos. I've gotten back to watching like my videos to see how the quality is. And I know that's not too great when it comes to visually because my phone is shaking. So if I hold it like this, you can see me more clearly, but it's going to be shaking just because I'm driving. I need to get a better like phone mount, something that can adjust to the shocks of the truck. And when I mean shocks, I mean the shock, like shaking of the truck. Walmart's like zero sugar, 0 calorie. It may have like 0.5 calories or something like that in these drinks. I'm not sure. I think they're like 0 calories, but I know that it's zero sugar. And this is like their pina colada kind. I guess it's called like mermaid or something like that. It is delicious, man. Like it is tasty. It is really tasty, y'all. I know people stay away from things that have like sucralose. What's the other artificial sweetener? But I'm just gonna say artificial sweeteners. I know that people stay away from artificial sweeteners just because they are carcinogens, which means that they can inflame the body and can cause cancer. And I'm not gonna knock you for it, not at all. But I drink it, and the reason why I drink it is because everything they feed us and give us today is a carcinogen. I don't know if people realize that or not, but damn near everything. I'm not gonna say everything, but damn near everything they give us is a carcinogen. I mean, even down to our plants because of the shit that they spray, like Roundup and all that stuff, the pesticides that they use on our plants, vegetables and stuff like that, and then even that in itself is a carcinogen. Like people have gotten cancer from pesticides and even herbicides. My cousin's dad was one of those people. He got cancer. He's still alive. He's had cancer since like 2005 or something like that. Like it's been a while, But yeah, he's still alive and kicking. But I think he had gotten it removed like years ago. And he was supposed to he won a lawsuit with Roundup. It was like a class action lawsuit. And my cousin, he promised to give my cousin like some of the money, but I don't think he did. And I don't think he got as much as he was hoping to get. I think he was hoping to get like several million from that, but I think he only got several 100,000, which is still a lot of money, but I'm not sure if he got it yet, though. To be honest, I'm not sure if his dad has gotten the money. I don't think my cousin is going to get the money, but it's whatever. I'm sure my cousins aren't feeling like it's whatever, but yeah, I'm not gonna harp on it in this video. But yeah, look, I'm up here getting quiet, but see, the good thing is that I am not on the highway yet. I know when I get on the highway, I'm gonna have to essentially be like shouting for you guys to hear me. But yeah, anyways, in this video, I'll be talking about people waking up to our reality, right? And I mean that on so many different levels. I really do. I mean that on so many different levels. In the sense that you have A lot of folks who are like no longer buying into Christianity anymore, realizing that Christianity is nothing more than a tool to cause confusion, division, and destruction. I know that there are people who are like, they're just so fixated on Christianity and they think that that is the way to go when really it's not. Like a lot of your older folks, man, I mean, you have younger guys and gals too who, you know, are so fixated on Christianity, but a lot of our younger folks are just, they're starting to wake up to the whole trip, all right? But also when it comes to, you know, us so-called African Americans always being here, a lot of people, not just only our people, but even people outside of our people are waking up to who we are as a people, that we've always been here, and that we are the so-called American Indians, right? Now, of course, you still have people who are reluctant to that truth. You have your people who are very Afrocentric and they believe in the racist ideology of the whole Afrocentric mindset. And you don't have to be a so-called black person to believe in that stupid ideology. And I don't say that to be demeaning, but it's stupid when you really look at the doctrine behind it. It doesn't make any sense at all. You have a bunch of how can I say, people who call themselves non-Afrocentrists who really are. Like, it's funny because you see it very often with, you know, non-black folks calling black people Afrocentrics for saying like, hey, this ancient European king or the European nobility and royal families were all so-called melanated folks, right? Or the indigenous people of the Americas are us, and that we have always been melanated, and these other people are invaders. They will say to us, nah, you're an Afrocentric. You're trying to make everything African. Like, I had this one guy argue with me. This one, I'm gonna say white Hispanic dude argue with me. He was like, hey, your stereotypical Hispanic, right? You know, not that all Hispanics look like him, but what people would consider your stereotypical Hispanic. You know, white features, straight hair, Asiatic and white features, right? Light skin. This guy was trying to argue with me, saying that I'm an Afrocentrist, that I'm trying to Africanize, the people of Americas, right? The Native Americans. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to Africanize anyone. He kept saying, yeah, man, you're saying these people are African. I was like, no, I didn't. I didn't say that the Mayans, because I showed him a painting of the Mayans. I was like, these are heavily melanated brown folks, right? That the so-called descendants are the so-called. He was like, man, they're not Africans. Like, dog, I never said they were Africans. I was like, I never said they were Africans at all. Never did I say that they were Africans. He was like, yeah, you did. And I was like, no, look at the conversation. I've never said that they were Africans. This was like one of the first debates I got into in a long time. And mind you, I was still pretty sharp at it, because this dude, every time I would get him trapped in the corner, he would like start explaining and start saying shit that didn't make sense. And I'm like, dog, here's the evidence right here. You're trying to say they're African. I'm like, look, dog. I was like, the real Afrocentrics here is you. Because you believe everybody who has melanated skin are Africans. Better yet, you believe life started in Africa. So who's the Afrocentrist? You? And people don't realize that. How the hell you gonna call somebody Afrocentric just because they themselves are melanated and they're telling you that other people in the world, the other kingdoms around the world were started and ran by melanated people, that they have to be Afrocentric? Why is it that every person who is melanated have to be an African? And I told this clown, I was like, look at these people right here. Do you know where these people are located? Right? Show them a picture. He's like, these are Africans. I was like, wrong. These are not Africans. These are people from Papua New Guinea. These are Melanesian people. And he kept trying to bring up science this, science that. And he was like, get a DNA test. I was laughing at this guy. I was like, the same DNA test that a person used on their dog, with the results coming back showed that their dog was like 90-something% Native American. That DNA test, that ancestry test, I should take that, right? But I was like, see, your science is gonna tell you that these people ain't African. You know why? Because these people are from Papua New Guinea, and your science that you trusted so much that these people are closer related to East Asian people than they are Africans. So there you go, my man. Showing you that not all melanated people with nappy hair come from Africa. Because he was like, nah, man, the Africans brought in 4C hair. And I had to kill that real quick with the people from Papua New Guinea. But also I showed him murals from the Bonampak murals, right? Anyone who's not familiar with the Bonampak murals, they are murals of the Mayan painted by the Mayans down in somewhere in Mexico. I want to say Chichen, Mexico, or Chinipas, something like that. It's a Chichen Itza. No, it's not Chichen Itza. It's Chiapas. Chiapas, Mexico is where it's at. Chiapas, Mexico is where the Bonampak murals are. And they show melanated Negroid people. And I had to hit this dude up with so much stuff. I told him, look up the, what's his name? David Laura. I think that's the guy's name. I had to show him the David Laura situation, right? And a lot of people who aren't familiar with that, David Laura, I believe that's his first name, but Laura is definitely his last name. This man was credited in faking thousands of fake Mayan artifacts, right? And the Mayan artifacts look nothing like what you would find in the Bonampak murals, right? In the Bonampak murals, you will see Negroid people. You will see Negroes. You will see Negroes. You will see people with flat noses, wide noses, and even hook noses, right? You will see them with, full lips. You will see these people with full lips, right? Sorry, I gotta check real quick where I'm going, but I'm gonna hold that thought just real quick. I just gotta make sure I'm going where I'm supposed to be going. Yep. Okay, yep, going exactly where I thought it was. So yeah, anyways, sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, so Bonampak murals, right? Those murals show Negroes with full lips, full noses, hook noses, whatever, flat noses, all that stuff, right? And the thing is that, you have people who are like, but Negroes don't have hook noses. Yeah, we do. We have all sorts of noses. Like, we have, I'm sure y'all seen black folks your everyday lives that have hook noses. We have all different shapes of noses, like, honestly. Like, look at how people love using Scottie Pippen, for example. Look at Scottie Pippen's build. Look at his phenotype. Very alkaline, if you will. Alkaline just means like a very sharp look, right? Like pointy nose, pointy cheeks, things like that, right? That's look at him, for example, right? Look at his features, right? He has the hook nose. Look at John Amos, for an example. John Amos has a hook nose, right? And then you have people like Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp don't have a hook nose, but he has a nose that is a protruding nose, right? He has more of a broad nose, more broader nose that sticks out more than out of his face, right? While someone like me, I don't have a hook nose. I don't have a very broad nose, right? My nose compared to my face doesn't stick out as much as other people do. Like my dad, for example. My dad has a hook nose, right? I don't have one. My wife, her nose is kind of similar to mine, but her dad has a hook nose, right? So it really depends. We have all different type of looks. I've seen brothers who have noses that look like beaks. So damn toucan. Like, I shit you not. We have all different types of look. Look at Lord Jamar, right? Look at Lord Jamar. Even look at Fredo Starr. Look at both of them brothers. How they both have hooked noses, right? So we all have different looks. Us Negroes, we don't just come in one shape and look. And that's what the Bonaparte mural showed. Like, yeah, sure. You will see brothers with hook noses, and you will see brothers with wide, flat noses. But people, they get so excited when they see the hook noses. Like, look, see, look, you black folks don't have noses like this. And I'm like, okay. There are black folks that have noses like that. It's like, no, that's an Indian nose. I'm like, an Indian nose? Yeah, like what Native Americans have. And I'm like, okay, but when you look at Native Americans, they have the stereotypical hook nose. When they show you a Native American, they always show the Native American with the stereotypical hook nose. Okay? You know how many natives I've seen that don't have hook noses? That have very small noses, very skinny, small noses, or they just have a flat or wide nose, not hooked at all? Quite often. So and I'm even talking about people, because let's just keep it a buck. Your so-called Native Americans are no less multiracial than your so-called groups of Hispanics, right? Like your stereotypical Mexican is just as Native American as your Native Americans, right? Your Native Americans are just as racially mixed as your so-called Mexicans. And it's so funny because I've seen this over the years. Your so-called Native Americans, they get upset when Mexicans claim to be either Spanish or racially mixed, which is correct. They are racially mixed, and they are of Spanish origin, right? They're of Spanish, Caucasian Spanish, and of Asiatic origins. And the natives fucking hate it that they claim it. Why? Because the natives know that they're the same people. The natives know that they're the same people. They're like, damn, if these people are claiming to be mixed and they look just like us and they have the same fucking history as us, it's gonna blow our cover. As pretending being the American Indians. Damn, I just drove into a bunch of this shit ain't right, y'all. Look at this shit. I just drove into a bunch of this damn fog. It just came out of nowhere. Let me tell you, it's cold as shit outside. Why in the fuck and this shit like particles. Yo, this shit ain't normal. It's cold. Look, let me tell y'all, when do we ever look, I've lived in Ohio my entire life. We don't get fog when it's like 30 degrees outside. Look at this shit. I literally just drove into this. Like, it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this. Like, this don't even make no damn sense, y'all. We don't get fog and 30-degree weather. We just don't get that. We usually get like in your 50s and 60s. You know, like when the mornings start off cool and then it gets warmer. It starts to warm up. Look at this shit. And this is like, it may not look heavy. The sky may just look gray on y'all screen. Okay, it's starting to thin out a little bit. But yeah, look at it. I can see like the actual particles. That shit is weird, man. It's crazy because I literally just watched a video the other day where people were talking about the fog that they're getting. Yeah, that don't make any sense, y'all. That don't make any sense. I'm telling y'all, it is literally 30 degrees outside. I wish I had... Oh, look. Look at this. Look at the temperature. It's showing 35 degrees outside. Mind you, it's actually colder than that. We don't get this shit. Now look how clear it is. That shit ain't normal, yo. That shit ain't normal. Hold up. I'm trying to flip the camera back around so I can look at my face. So I can look at my ugly mug. Nah, but seriously though, yeah, that's crazy, man. It's like all back there too. But yeah, anyways, like I was saying, yeah, those fucking natives, man, they hated the Mexicans who look just like them, claim to be racially mixed, because they're blowing their cover. But anyways, get back to the murals, right? When you look at the murals, you see Negroes. You not only see their facial features, but you see their skin tone. Skin tone just like mine, copper color, right? And then on top of that, you see their hair. It's like, okay, 1 out of 3, okay, that's nice. 2 out of 3, okay, yeah, that's enough to prove shit. But 3 out of 3, to prove that they were Negroid people, so-called Negroid people, right? But being like us, man, you can't beat that. You can't beat 3 out of 3. 3 out of 3 is overkill, man. 2 out of 3 was good enough. 3 out of 3, overkill. All right? Not only do they have facial features like us, but the skin tone, okay, yeah, that's enough right there, right? But then when you throw in the hair texture, because you see them with braids, you see them wearing braids, or what like could be also locks, but then you see nappy hair on top of that. Like there's this one that I love showing people where you see the brother, and this is the 4th one that's just complete overkill, obliteration, not even necessary, and proving these damn devils wrong, is that there's this one mural where you see this one painting of this brother, this Mayan brother, wearing a hair wrap, right? Now all of them, damn near all of them are wearing hair wraps. Since when do you see Mexican women wearing, the so-called Mayan women wearing hair wraps? I'm not talking about wearing scarves. There's a difference between wearing like a scarf or a bonnet and a head wrap. Totally different thing. Hair wraps is actually scarves wrapped around your head, right? So-called Hispanic people don't wear that unless they're black, or unless they're like, they assimilated into black culture, right? You can look around the world and you will see Negroid people wearing head wraps, right? You don't see Mexican people today wearing head wraps. You don't see so-called, the so-called native groups in the Americas wearing head wraps. You don't see it at all. But you know who you do see in the Americas wearing hair wraps, and we don't do it just because it's a style. We don't do it because it's something that we've learned from other people. No. You see so-called African Americans do it because that's always been a part of our culture. You see these people wearing braids, but you see them wearing hair wraps. But the one that I love showing people is the one with the afro. There's this person who's obviously wearing an afro, and it's tucked up under a head scarf. Like they got a hair wrap, and you see their bushy hair coming out the back of it. Complete overkill, man. And people like that, they shut up or they get stupid. They get very stupid when I show them that. They like to say like, well, you know, well, it's like, what? You keep saying they're African. Dude, I'm not, I'm just showing you what the people look like. I'm saying, this is what, and this dude, he said something ridiculous to me. First of all, he called me a bitch because he got so aggravated. He called me a bitch. I'm like, damn, why you call me a bitch? But this man, it was pretty hilarious because he said something so ridiculous that I can't even remember right now. Yeah, this guy, he went to fucking Google. He was like, I asked Google. He was like, I asked Google's AI if they were ever black, and I'm like, really, dude? The AI that they admit is flawed. You're sitting here asking AI. I was like, dude, you're gonna have to go a little bit. Sorry about that video fucking lowered, but yeah, I was cracking up, dying because some people are just idiots, and he's one of those guys who's just a fucking idiot, man. Like, I'm like, you're one of those people, and I called him out. I was like, you're one of those people when the time comes, you have no excuse because you choose to be ignorant. I was like, I'm done with you, man. I'm done with you. And I saw he was typing something. I blocked his ass before he got that little message off. So I know he's like, damn. But yeah, you got people out here who are willfully ignorant. But shout out to those out there who are not part of my people, who are coming out with the truth. There's like this guy. Shout out to the brother Mike TV, man. Shout out to him. Because he recently had this white guy on, and see, me personally, I don't give two shits about validation from the outside. I really don't. But I understand it's necessary. I understand that it is necessary for some people to have their eyes open, right? So your so-called, if you have a so-called white scholar that will admit that black folks have always been here, you'll have other people who will jump on board because they value whiteness, right? They value whiteness. And I may even talk about it in this video, but it's completely off subject. But the whole thing with anime, right? I may make a separate video talking about that, but if I make it in this video, I'll just do it in this video. But I probably won't. It's probably a good chance I won't. But anyways, they value whiteness. So whenever a white person validates anything, especially if they have accolades, they will start to believe. And it's really sad, honestly. It's really sad that there are people like that, right? But like I said, shout out to Mike TV because he recently did a video made a video where he had an interview of a white guy, white scholar. I believe this guy is like a historian. I don't think he's an archaeologist, but a historian. And he recently came out to speak on, I think his YouTube channel is relatively young, but he, I believe he has a TikTok. And it's not just only this white guy, there's other people too. My wife, she showed me the other day that there's this other white guy. Sorry about that. This just keeps blowing. Yeah, but there's this other white scholar who came out, admitting that we've always been here. And that's cool and all, it's good, whatever, But me, I don't need the validation. And, shout out to the brother Mike TV. I may actually hire him for his services when it comes to my family, because my dad, because he does genealogy. But the thing is that I do my genealogy also, but I just have enough time, especially as of recent, because I want to fully try to go as far as I can in my genealogy, especially on my dad's side. My dad's side is a huge question mark, because I can only go back so far with my dad's side because of his situation of him being a foster child, you know. So it's much harder to track his lineage, especially on his mom's side. That's the side that I'm really missing, is his mom's side. I got quite a bit of his dad's side, but his mom is a huge question mark mystery. So yeah, so I may have to hire him to just do my genealogy, and I'll just let him just do a complete new tree and compare his research to my research. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be extremely dope. So I may have him do that. But me and him, hey, we could be related, because one of my ancestors that I found on my mom's side is Muskogee Creek, and he's Muskogee Creek. Now, do I want to become a part of the Muskogee Creek Nation? Not really. Not really. It really just depends. It really depends on what they got going on, what the mission is, and all that stuff. But I've always been one of those people who's kind of been against joining a tribe, and the reason why is because it's a lot of these tribes. I'm not saying that the tribe that he's in is about it, but a lot of these tribes be on some funny shit, man. And I'm not for that. I'm not for any of that funny shit at all. And then a lot of these tribes, even his brother Mike, he knows. But a lot of these tribes that we have today were hijacked. We know that, you know, they've been hijacked. And even some of these tribes were even created by the hijackers, right? So our children would, our people would have children with the colonizers, and then they would breed themselves out. They will essentially like breed themselves out, or what will happen is that they would breed with the colonizers, and the colonizers' children would take over as leadership in the tribes, because they would use them kind of like as like middlemen, you know, to do peace treaties and things like that, right? And of course, the mixed breeds, their allegiance would be towards their European parents and the best interests of the Europeans. So we will always get screwed in the end. You know, they would take over tribes and stuff like that. For example, look at the dude who, I forget his name, but he was the last chief of the Cherokee tribe back in the 1800s. I can't remember the dude's name. The dude was a white guy. Straight up white dude, man. Looked nothing like an Indian at all, which makes me think that he probably didn't even have no Indian ancestry, unless his like mother was like biracial, like a half white, like a mulatto. Unless his mother was a mulatto and his mother married white. That's the only way he could look that way. But that looked like an old white man. You know, and I say these things not to be racist against any particular group of people, but I'm just stating the truth. You know, and now I can turn this heat on, because damn, I hate when people just drive slow. Like, why are you driving so slow? Oh, guys, a whole bunch of slow people up there. But yeah, got a lot of tribes today that are infiltrated, but also by your Freemasons, man. A lot of the leadership of these tribes today are lodge members. Freemasons. They're agents of misinformation, you know, and they're going to intentionally keep our people out, the real Indians out, because, I mean, let's just keep it a buck of real Indians. But another reason why I'm not really so keen on joining tribes is because, you know, the whole blood quantum thing is ancestry. Like, that's what's been told in their family. You know, if I remember correctly, my wife's grandmother or great-grandmother was a card-carrying Choctaw, right? So that's the tribe that they've always claimed. But I told my wife the other day, like, you know, even though that's the only tribe that you know of, that doesn't mean that that's the only tribe that you are. Like, for me, for example, I found probably about like 4 different tribes in my family. You know, that's just really mostly on my mom's side alone, you know. So it's like, just claiming one tribe. Why? Because one tribe is more popular than the other? Like, that don't make sense. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you're claiming a tribe, there's deer up on that hill. I don't know. It's just, that's a buck too. I see these big old antlers. Don't really see too many bucks out here, or at least bucks with horns. Most of them they mostly just like female deer around here. But anyways, yeah, like I was saying, you know, most people have several tribes in them, even tribes that we no longer know the names of, you know. And that's a sad thing, man. That's really the sad thing, is that there's literally tribes that names will never be spoken ever again, just because, you know, they were completely erased. They were completely erased. Because not all tribes were huge. Not all tribes were nations, you know. You had tribes that existed maybe for about like 50 to 100 years that may have at most only had about 50 to 100 people. That's a small tribe, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, say if another tribe came and destroyed them or assimilated them into their tribe, and they're gone, you know what I'm saying? Or say when the Europeans growed up in Virginia, and maybe that tribe of 100 people lived on a little island right off the coast of Virginia, and the Europeans came and slaughtered all of them. There you go. That's the whole tribe gone. You know what I'm saying? Gone. So, and that has happened. But also, like I was saying too, is you know, my wife, all she knows is Choctaw. But I told her, I was like, y'all may not even be Choctaw, for real, for real. Y'all could be a tribe that got absorbed into Choctaw, you know, after, or, you know, after, you know, like they came up with 5 civilized tribes. They, you know, a lot of tribes assimilated into the bigger tribes. Like a lot of smaller tribes became part of Choctaw or Cherokee, you know. So, but it's so funny though, man. Like, in the past, you would have scholars who would admit that black folks were Indian, but they were like, oh no, they're only part Native American. You know, they're only Native American by association because they were taken as slaves by the Indians. It's like, y'all get out here with that cap. Like, if y'all going somewhere with that bull crap. Man, y'all know what I'm craving right now? I'm craving like some beef bacon, man. The only thing I don't like about beef bacon, is that it's tough, man. I don't know about y'all, But I've had beef bacon in the past where it's like chewy. Like it's like tough, chewy. And I don't like that. Hell, back when I was young, I used to eat pork. I didn't even like regular bacon, man. Not that I didn't eat it back when I was young, but I really didn't like it too much just because I was a kid. As an adult, pork bacon wasn't something that I ate. I mean, I'm sure if I made bacon now, I would cook it right, but when I was a kid, I didn't know how to cook it right. So I would either overcook it or I would undercook it. So it would either be chewy or it'd be tough. And I didn't like it. So I wasn't like really the biggest fan of bacon when I was a kid. Because it was just hard to make. It was just very hard to make. It took too long. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, but beef bacon, man, the taste of it is good. Like having like a turkey sausage sandwich with cheese, egg, and then the beef bacon on top of that. Tasty. Absolutely tasty. But yeah. Anyways, I think that's all I gotta say for now. I really don't have much more to talk about taking this damn coat off because it is getting hot in this truck. It was cold at first because this damn battery died in the truck, so I had to sit and wait for the little jump starter guy to come. I tried to use my own jump starter, but it wasn't doing anything for the damn truck. So yeah. Anyways. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Peace out. Shalom.